So, have you ever heard of a company called CATL? Probably not, right? But here's the crazy part. There's a really good chance their tech is powering something right near you. I mean, they're one of these massive, kind of invisible giants in the whole global energy shift. So, today let's figure out who they are and what makes them tick. We're going to take a look at the company that's literally powering our electric future. Right? So this is their headquarters. And from here, CATL, which, by the way, stands for Contemporary Amperex Technology Company Limited, quite a mouthful, has just quietly, become this huge dominant force in battery tech. They're sitting smack dab in the middle of this massive global shift to EVs and clean energy.
So you gotta wonder, how did they pull it off? I mean, how does one company end up leading what's arguably one of the most critical industries of our time? Well, it turns out the answer boils down to this really intense, relentless focus on just two key things.
Okay, so first things first, it all kicks off with a massive, and I really mean massive, commitment to innovation. Seriously, their position at the top, it's no accident. It's been deliberately engineered. How? Through one of the most impressive R&D operations you'll find anywhere on the globe. Just get a load of this number, 20,604. Now, that's not their total number of employees. No. That's how many people they have working just in R&D. It's basically a whole army of scientists and engineers, all waking up every day focused on one single mission: build a better battery.
And what's really wild is when you break down who these people are. We're talking about an incredible level of expertise here. You've got almost 4,000 people with master's degrees and over 360 with PhDs. So this isn't just about having a lot of bodies in a lab, it's about focusing an unbelievable amount of brainpower on solving these huge challenges.
And of course, all that brainpower needs fuel, right? And it's getting it. We're talking serious money. Just in 2023, CATL pumped over $2.5 billion into R&D. When you're spending that kind of cash, you can explore everything, from the most basic material science all the way up to super advanced ways of actually building the things. And this chart, wow. It just lays it all out, doesn't it? This isn't some slow and steady increase. It's an absolute explosion. Look at that curve. In just 5 years, their R&D budget has shot up almost sixfold. This right here is the financial rocket fuel that's keeping them ahead of the competition.
But here's the thing. All that innovation, all that money, it's all guided by one simple, totally non-negotiable idea. And it's this: everything, and I mean everything, revolves around safety. For CATL, safety is the sun. All the other stuff we care about, cost, power, range, you name it, they're just planets orbiting that sun. Because think about it, right? You can build the most powerful, longest-lasting battery in the history of the world, but if it's not safe, it's completely useless. It's a total non-starter.
And they don't just talk about safety, they are almost obsessive about it. They have this multi-layered approach they call aviation-level safety, which is a pretty high bar. It starts way down at the microscopic level with developing more stable materials. From there, they build up. They engineer ways to stop heat from spreading from one tiny cell to another, then they stop it from spreading between whole modules. It just keeps building until you get to the full battery pack. It's like having multiple firewalls, a defense system designed to catch a problem at any and every possible stage.
Okay, so we've got billions in R&D and this obsession with safety. But what does that actually mean for you and me, for the person behind the wheel? Well, it means they are taking on, head-on, the biggest anxieties and frustrations that people have about switching to an EV.
Let's start with the big one, the one everyone talks about: range anxiety. You know that feeling, right? That little nagging voice in the back of your head? What if I run out of power in the middle of nowhere?
Well, CATL's answer to that is pretty simple: 1,000 kilometers. That's right, batteries that can go over 1,000 kilometers on a single charge. To put that in perspective for you, that's like driving from Paris all the way to Berlin and still having some charge left over. So yeah, range anxiety, it's pretty much on its way out.
All right, what's next? The other big headache? Charging time. I mean, even if you have amazing range, nobody wants to be stuck for hours at a charging station, right? It's just the worst. And this is where their tech gets absolutely wild. Just imagine this. You pull into a charging station, plug in, and get to an 80% charge in 5 minutes. Seriously, 5 minutes. The time it takes to order a coffee. This isn't just an improvement, it completely changes the game for what it means to own and use an EV every day. Okay, here's another big one people worry about, especially depending on where you live: extreme weather. Will my fancy EV battery actually work when it's freezing cold outside? Or what about in a blistering summer heat wave? Well, turns out they've thought of that too.
Thanks to some really smart thermal management and even self-heating tech, these batteries are built to work reliably from a bone-chilling -30 degrees Celsius all the way up to a scorching 60 degrees. Essentially, the battery is smart enough to manage its own temperature, making sure you get the power you need no matter what Mother Nature is throwing at you.
So, solving today's problems is great, right? But what's really cool is that CATL is already way ahead of us, building the batteries of tomorrow today. And trust me, this is where it gets really, really interesting.
Okay, check this out. This is the Keelan battery. Its design is just brilliant. It hits a record-breaking 72% volume utilization efficiency. So what does that even mean? It means they figured out how to get rid of a ton of wasted space inside the battery pack, space that's usually taken up by cooling parts and structural bits. And all that saved space can now be filled with what actually matters, the stuff that stores energy. It's all about packing more power into the exact same amount of space.
They're also messing with the fundamental chemistry inside the batteries. And their new M3P battery, it's a huge leap forward. So, compared to the standard LFP batteries that are really common, this new one gives you way more energy density and works a lot better in the cold. But here's the kicker. It does all that while still being cheaper than the really high-end NCM batteries. It really is like getting the best of both worlds.
And then there's this, which could be a total game changer, the sodium-ion battery. The key thing here? It doesn't need lithium. It's built on a whole new system that's super stable, has great energy density, and, get this, it charges amazingly well even when it's freezing cold. This isn't just about cars anymore. A battery like this could power a whole universe of new things.
But CATL's ambition? It doesn't stop at the road's edge. Nope. They are literally aiming for the skies. For as long as we've had modern batteries, the holy grail, the ultimate challenge, has always been getting them to power an aircraft.
And this number, 500 watt-hours per kilogram, this is the magic number that could actually make it happen. That's a mind-blowing level of energy density. A number so high that it takes the idea of electric passenger planes out of sci-fi movies and puts it firmly into the realm of this could actually work.
And that really brings us to the final question, doesn't it? The speed of innovation here is just staggering. In just a few years, we've gone from worrying about whether our car can make it to the next town to seriously talking about electric airplanes. So it really makes you think, if we're on the verge of powering planes with batteries, what's next? What else on this planet, or maybe even off it, are we going to electrify?